talent. I mean, I've never seen anyone drift a Formula E car like that.
It was breathtaking, and like I said, there were a bunch of oohs and ahs here in the EVO Lounge as people were watching it on the big screens around the place. It was can't miss TV, that's for sure, with Dan Ticktum behind the wheel of this car. But now it is JUCA's turn. Fourth driver out on track, had the second fastest time of the day yesterday at a 1:11.640. That's now the third fastest time on the two-day combined charts because Brooklyn Beckham found that massive amount of time, 6.5 seconds from day one to day two. But Dan Ticktum setting the bar pretty high in the 109 range here for JUCA. That's what he's expecting to see. And that's what we saw out of driver 61 yesterday, the benchmark time to this point in the competition.
Let's see his approach. Is he going to build up slowly to this, or is he going to go out there and go gung-ho? I mean, the main thing now, the first 2 laps, you need to build your tire temperature. You have to take it easy. You have to build your confidence, as we've seen a couple of others go a bit too far, too early. Build your confidence slowly, and then really start sending it around lap 3 and lap 4.
Dan does not look concerned at all. He was more concerned about his hair, working on the coif while he's watching his driver on track. Gives you some sense of his level of relaxation. Here comes JUCA now. This is the completion of the out lap, but you're saying, James, it takes the out lap plus one more to really get the car in the right operating window?
I think at this pace and you know, with the lack of experience of JUCA, I think you're much better off doing the first 3 laps. So your out lap, first lap as a build lap, then your second time lap as another build lap, and sort of gauging yourself and getting a bit of confidence in the brakes, in the feeling of the car, how everything is, and then really trying to go for it from sort of lap 4 onwards. That would be the correct approach for me. I'm sure Dan has briefed JUCA very well, and he looks like he's building up nicely here.
Yeah, it has been a measured approach here so far, nice and steady.
Oh, there's a bit of a dive bomb.
And comes out of the way early. And maybe that works when the tires are up to temperature, right?
Definitely. I mean, that could be just a case of, you know, pushing a little bit and expecting the grip of a hot tire, because it's the other thing to remember. These guys, when they finished their last laps yesterday, and we saw almost all of them going faster on their last lap than any other lap. Now, when your tires build up temperature and you've got that muscle memory of how the grip level is with hot tires, and with the racing car, you don't get that when they're cold. So you've got to build the tire temperature in order to get the grip.
Yeah, you read my mind. The fact that the last time these guys were on track doing their fast laps, everything was in its operating window, and that's their most recent memory. But they've got to purge that and readjust to the fact that they're still on the cold tires. They need to build up the tire temperatures, the brake temperatures, etc., to ensure they're ready to go. This is the third lap now. Lap number 2 checked in at a 1:23.470. So this is that measured approach coupled with a little miscue in sector 2 on that second lap for JUCA as he starts his third lap now and starting to build the speed. Much smoother through this section this time. On off throttle time. Patient trying to get back to the power, does so. A solid sector 1 at a 26.7. Really like how he's so methodical in his process. And each lap now, we're seeing personal best sector time after personal best sector time. This is trending to be his best lap of the run so far, with still plenty of time to go. Haven't heard any message from the team to him either. Not sure if we're just missing some of the team communication or if they're just letting him do his thing. That last lap has him up to third on the day, a 1:16.8. Looks remarkably smooth and consistent. There's a look at the Cooper Kiro team having a really strong start to their Formula E campaign. Now watching their newest addition, JUCA, who just did a 25 flat first sector. That's only a second off of what Brooklyn Beckham did. You could just hear on that onboard shot how much the Hancooks are having to work. He is now pushing, James.
Yeah, it looks like he's definitely taken note. He started taking a lot of speed into those corners.
And this is trending to be the second best lap of the day. Again, his previous best yesterday, a 111.640. Not sure that
it's going to be a 112, I think, for sure. This is looking good.
Here he comes to the line, and right on cue, a 112.392 for JUCA, jumping to P2 on the leaderboard. He's now within 0.7 of a second of his time from yesterday. Smiles all around in the Cooper Kiro garage, like what they see. Now they're having him back it down after a couple of push laps there. Bring everything back down, reset a little bit, as much about resetting mentally as it is about resetting the conditions of the car, and then he'll go out and push again.
He's looking good though, JUCA. He looks like he learned a lot from the Dan Tickton Racing Driver School. And no, he looks well composed. I mean, I'm sure he's just going to have a bit of a think about it in this slowdown lap, get his tires and brakes in the right window, and I reckon we're going to see him go for it.
So your braking points look good. Just don't over slow too much with the V shape to try and keep the corner speed. Push next lap. Make sure your brakes are warm.
Your takeaway from that, James?
We're ready to see a challenge, I think.
I think so. It's interesting to compare and contrast the kind of information that's passed along and how much information is passed along, depending on the team, depending on the experience level of these drivers. Here we go, starting another push lap now. That was really good. What Porsche told us earlier is any indication you want your cooldown lap to be roughly 1:30. That's exactly what JUCA did. So this car should be right where JUCA wants it. Nice and smooth through turn number 1.
Nice and straight in the braking there where we saw the mistake from Sergio earlier. And this looks really nice from JUCA. I have to say, this first sector's looking good.
24.6 first sector, his personal best, using a lot of curb this time. The car seems to like it well enough. You can look and see the car in yaw. You can see the body roll. That indicates he's really pushing through the corners.
And this was a sector where he was strong, so let's see if he can close down. He's only half a second off. So that was a massive moment there and a little bit wide on the exit curb, bottoming out the car there.
Full opposite lock moment there. Able to save it. Did give up some time, but actually, and now that was about a second slower through sector 2 than Brooklyn Beckham was.
Yeah, and he's going to pay the price for that all the way down the straight. So, yeah, he's going to have to compose himself next lap. But that first sector was brilliant.
It was. 6/10 off of Brooklyn's time. Here comes JUCA there. Check the time, but...
Okay, good job. Box this lap.
As anticipated, gave up a lot of time there in sector 2. Still only a 10th off of his previous best. If that had been clean, that would have been a really strong lap. And we just heard the call, box this lap. This is the exact same run plan that Cooper Kiro had yesterday. They were the only team to employ it, actually calling him in. Let's look at this moment again from outside the car.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too much entry speed. Too aggressive on the turn-in as well. We're going to get a great shot here on board as we're running down to the corner. Braking hard, throws the car in, and just loses the rear on entry. And it's just where you're asking a little bit too much on the brakes, a little bit too much steering input, and the rear just snapping out on him.
How about the car control, though?
Car control was good.
And again, we saw this out of this team yesterday, electing, instead of just doing a cool-down lap middle of the run, to actually bring the car into the pits. And James, you were full of praise for that methodology.
Yeah, I think, you know, he's also been to the Dan Tickton Drift School as well, I think, overnight there, JUCA. So yeah, wonderful to watch so far this session.
Interesting, though, again, still hasn't quite reached his time from day 1. I think he would have there if not for...
Okay, so bring it down on the pit limiter to our garage, stop on the concrete outside, and then mode 0 for us, please, so we can push you in.
Yeah, if not for the big moment there in sector 2, I think he would have been perhaps even faster than his day one time. But we'll see what the team has to say as JUCA comes into the pit lane.
Let's see if we can listen into a bit of feedback. They were good yesterday, the team, in giving JUCA the feedback, making sure that he understood where he needed to improve. Let's see what the Dan Tickton Racing School does.
We've been talking a lot about Dan's approach to this and how much fun he seems to be having here this weekend. I think he's really enjoyed this opportunity to mentor JUCA.
I think Dan's enjoying the whole process,
Yes,
isn't he?
yes.
Social media star in the making, maybe.
I think so.
Certainly, he's very colourful.
The Cooper Kiro's regular full-season Formula E drivers. This is the kind of debrief that they'd be giving Dan during a free practice session.
Yes, exactly. This is what the length the teams go to share the information with the driver. You know, you're out there in your own world when you've got the race helmet on track with the car. You want to know what you're doing compared to the others. You want to know where you can improve. And that's how the team can share a lot of information very quickly with the driver. And brilliant to see them sharing it with JUCA.
Really cool, too, the confidence they have in him to overlay his data with Dan's and to show him that side by side. That can be really eye-opening.
Okay, so we're going in about 1 minute here, JUCA. As we discussed before, we'll go out and then straight away the tyres should be ready for your first flying lap. Correct, and make sure we do some good brake warming in that outlap as well.
Yeah, this has been awesome from Cooper Kiro, the way that they have embraced this event and embraced JUCA as well.
Just out of curiosity, did I make any similar time than yesterday, or was I slower? I think I was slower, right?
So far slightly slower, you were maybe 1 second, but your first sector is good.
Perfect.
Got it. You made a couple of small mistakes, you just put the lap together, it'll come, don't overthink it, you got it.
That was Coach
Thank
Dan.
you, Dan the man. Let's do it.
Yeah, nice and smooth, the time will come. So yeah, get ready for the guys to push you out here.
Great advice there from Dan. You want to stay in the flow state. You know, you've got that information, but if you start thinking about that when you're on track, it will never correlate to lap time. You need to let it go. You need to flow and just enjoy these last few laps that you're going to get to do on a track all by yourself here in Miami in the Gen 3 EVO.
An unbelievable opportunity for a real motorsport
Make sure your pit
enthusiast.
limiter's on, JUCA.
It is on.
Okay, and then hold the brake and go into mode 10.
I think I'm going to have to try some of these Mr. Beast
Mode
Feastables.
10.
Okay, let's go then. Drive down the pit lane. Make sure to take the button off before you exit.
Alexa Rendell was able to track some down yesterday, but has she shared with us? No, she has not. You
Maybe
eat that Feastable all yourself?
Maybe she got some of the hot sauce as well.
Oh, if you're holding out on the hot sauce, we're gonna have words. Alexa has found the Feastables.
So
Look
your
at
tyre temp
that.
should be pretty good now. See how they feel.
MVP.
And make sure to use brake warm. Ready for the next lap.
All right.
This is going to be an interesting moment. He's had the data. He's done his first few push laps. He's got reacclimatized to the Gen 3 EVO car here in Miami. And we're about to see him fully unleashed and ready to show us what he's made of.
Yeah, he's been chomping at the bit for this moment since he got out of the car yesterday. You could tell he was hanging around, watching all the other drivers go throughout the day yesterday.
So push next lap. Remember brake warm.
And he's been studying up at the feet of his mentor for the week, Dan Tickton, Dan the man. There we go. Luca's starting to pick up the pace. This will be the push lap. He's already done a 1:12.392 today. Yesterday he did a 1:11.640. What kind of speed does he have in his Cooper Kiro? Here he comes into turn number 1.
Nice on the way into there. Carried a lot of speed, lay on the brakes, but still made the apex. Great line through turn 2 and 3 here.
The team trying to get him to bring that minimum quarter speed up. Roll a little more speed through the corners. So far, so good in that account. We're about to get to the end of Sector 1, and the time looks good. It's a 24:2:08. That's only a fraction off of what Brooklyn Beckham did earlier today.
Yeah, this is looking like a great lap from JUCA. He's looked so much smoother than he looked in the beginning of this session. That pause in the pit lane, really valuable to him.
We saw that yesterday too. He came right out of that pause and immediately was pushing. He was immediately on it.
He took a lot of speed into there onto the back straight. It's only 1/10 between the two of them coming into the final big hairpin.
First place very much up in the air, up for grabs, in jeopardy at this point. Brooklyn Beckham has the pace-setting time of the day at a 1:10.761. JUCA was within a tenth of that after the second sector. What's the time going to be at this stripe? It is JUCA just short by 17 thousandths of a second. A 1:10.778 goes long in turn one that time, so he'll have to back it off. Question is, does he have time for one more push?
I think there's a little bit more lap time on the table for him. We saw him just start to turn in a little bit too early whilst in the braking phase.
So we need this cool down lap to be a bit faster than your last one. Got about 1 minute to go.
And just as he turned in, whilst he was on the brakes, he lost the rear a little bit, and that's what just would have cost him a little bit of confidence. And I think he possibly even took too much speed into a couple of the corners.
With 1 minute to go, he might be able to get back around just in the nick of time. The team is hoping so, at the very least. We'll soon see. I don't know if he knows what the delta is first to second, but 17 thousandths of a second. That's all he needs to find. That's less than the blink of an eye.
Push next lap. Brake warm.
They're telling him to push next lap, so the plan is for him to go for it. Brilliant lap.
This is really all in here from Kiro
Yep.
Cooper Racing. I mean, they're just going to let him go and fully send it.
And that's been their approach to this entire event. They have been all in. They have put everything at their disposal behind their driver, JUCA. He is on it again. It looks like he will get one more shot at it. That looked like a very good turn number one, James. We'll see if that shows up on the stopwatch. Little moment there.
He's really on the limit here through turn 2 and 3. Will he get the apex and the exit out 4? This is where I think he lost a bit of time on the previous lap, but it looks better. I think it's going to be a quicker first sector.
Here he comes, does not go faster. He now is 2/10 behind Brooklyn Beckham's time, but he still has 2 sectors still to go. Can he find the pace he needs to supplant Brooklyn at the top of timing and scoring here on day number 2 of the EVO Sessions?
We carried a lot of speed into there. The car was really loose at the rear end.
Asked a lot of the car was willing to give it.
He's up.
He is. A huge middle sector for JUCA. He's now up by nearly 3/10 of a second on Brooklyn Beckham. Just has to keep it neat and tidy through the final couple of corners. Here he comes, the Mexican content creator extraordinaire, JUCA, coming down to take the checkered flag. Brooklyn Beckham P1 for the moment. Can JUCA take it away? Yes, he can. A 1:10.462. And that's the celebration in the Cooper Kiro garage.
Yes, 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 yes! Woo! Oh, that felt good! Vamos!
Yeah, really good improvement.
Awesome, awesome lap. Well done, bro. Well done.
Well, you have a nice job, man. Damn, what an office.
I shouldn't complain as much as I do, I know.
Hey, we all do. That's part of life. Only enjoyment would get boring at some point.
Well done, bro. Good job.
The JUCA Dan Ticktum bromance is alive and well, and I am here for it, folks.
Dan as a driver coach makes a different job.
Who knows, maybe Dan will have a new team
That
next
was
week.
not so loud and clear. I didn't get you, but you'll tell me now. I have to pit, right? I have to get in pits?
Confirm, pit this lap. Remember your speed limiter.
Well, that all came in the second and third sectors there, James. He did not have a great first sector, was 2/10 behind, but then found half a second relative to Brooklyn Beckham in sector 2 alone, and was able to carry that through sector 3 into the line.
JUCA, bravissimo.
Yeah, Brooklyn looks super strong in turn 2, 3, and 4. And actually, I
Bella
thought it was really
macchina,
good
bello
there.
equipo, bella vita, la vita è bella.
Beautiful car, beautiful team. And I missed the last one. My high school Spanish is
Park
failing
outside
me.
our garage and we're at 0.
Well, there is the man of the hour, JUCA. Second fastest yesterday. He goes to P1 today.
I wonder if he ate his Mr. Beast Feastables before he got in the car.
Yeah, really impressed with him.
Now the Cooper Kiro team loving what they've seen. Seeing their car at the top of the leaderboard, always special. And this relationship that they're forming with JUCA over the course of this whole process, just getting stronger and stronger. Can't wait to get the reaction from one of the great media personalities in the automotive space. That's one of the reasons he's here, of course. He has been tremendous. JUCA hops from the car. He'll take the helmet off. Let's listen in as he reacts to his final run of the EVO Sessions.